Customs. Cool sunset. It's Thursday night, I think. Been crunching away on the Mustang. Tonight we got another little installment. We're flipping back over. You can see we got the quarter scale Chevy. You can see the front of it. We got the rest of it papered off just so I don't slop gel coat and resin. Yes, I had to go to another supplier. I got a couple quarts. Got a couple quarts of black tooling gel. The reason we needed the tooling gel is because we want to pull multiple parts from these molds. So today I didn't want you to watch the monotony of basically getting this prepped, because it's very time consuming. So basically what I did is it's pretty intricate around the front nose. So I made it out of cardboard, used some masking tape. I made this little, if I can get it. Oh, it's stuck under the resin. But anyhow, I made a template out of cardboard. Transferred it over to, this is the other piece of the aluminum that I cut out. I got it hot glued where I wanted it. I used plasticine. Plasticine being the next best thing, because it seems like the yellow wax I can't get here in Canada. It's banned for this type of procedure. So I've got these little pyramids of plasticine stuck on there. Plus I use the plasticine to kind of gap around the edges to give me a nice 90-degree, flange once this is peeled off. This is probably the most intricate part of the mold, is the front. That's why I started with it. This is probably going to be very many multiple part procedure, because I don't time lapse. Don't want to put you through the agony of that. So basically I've got my flange on all the way around. I've sprayed on I put a layer of wax, just a quick layer, just good old car turtle wax. This is my parting material, PVA. You can brush it, you can spray it. I prefer to spray it. I got about 4 coats of PVA. That is the release. You'll get to see that. It kind of looks like cellophane when you pull the part off. We will not be pulling this part off until we complete the whole project. It would be interesting just to do this piece, pull it, just so you can see what it looks like. We may do that because it could be placed back on with some hot glue and stuff, but for tonight's video, I think what we'll do is we'll just get rolling. We've got some fiberglass laid out. I've got most of the stuff I'm going to need laid out. I've got some acetone for cleaning brushes. I got the hardener for the gel coats. I'm just going to talk as I go through the procedure. First thing, so we've got our wax, our release. Because this is so intricate, we're going to slap on a nice thick layer of gel coat. I'm going to slap on my glasses so everything is not blurry. I'm going to mix up the gel coat, and we're just going to go for it. Just trying to decide whether I should put a pair of rubber gloves on, because this type of job is messy. Fiberglass in general sucks. That's all I'm gonna say. It sucks, but I do love doing it. There is an art behind it. Just like metal fab, airbrushing, you know, growing plants. It's an art form, you know. Some people have it, some people don't. Let's just get right into it. So I've got 4 ounces of black gel coat in the cup. I measured it out. Now on the can, it says 10 drops per ounce of this stuff here, which is MEK peroxide. If you want to know what the MEK is, it's methyl ethyl ketone peroxide. It's hardener. It's universal right across the board for most resins. Normally when you buy a little kit, comes in these little packets of hardener. What I do is I got this old ink. It was an old ink filler. It's a perfect little kind of eyedropper. So I got 4 ounces in here. So that'd be 40 drops. I'm going to spike it just a little bit because I want it to go off a bit quicker. So I'm going to probably do 12 drops, 4 ounces times 4. Yeah, you do the math. I already know in my head how many drops I'm putting in it. I'm going to do 4 times 12. That's 48. $30. Okay, I went a little overboard. I did 60. I did 60, but that's okay. That's okay. That'll, hopefully that just kicks it a little quicker. We got time. We got time. I'm going to stir it. You want to stir it up very good. Make sure it all gets mixed in. It's been a long time since I played around with gel coat. Normally I just do what they call clear casting. So I just make the molds with polyester resin. There's all different types of resins that you can use. You can use epoxy resins. Yeah, there's just too many to list. You can get non-odor, non-toxic types of resins. You know, I use the cheap stuff, which is mostly polyesters, just because it's cheap. It's cheap. Why spend all the money? Products these days are getting very expensive. I just bought 2 1-quart cans of this. Well, there's the price right on the can. $32 a can. They came from the Toronto area. It says right on there, Toronto, Ontario. Came from Plastic World. Last place I ordered from was Noah's Marine. Loved the place, but in a sense they kind of ripped me off because they have not responded to my emails or my phone calls, and I don't care anymore. It's been about 8 weeks. They owe me a gallon of tooling gel and they have not come through, so I had to go elsewhere. Got what I needed to keep this project going forward. I've been just waiting and waiting and waiting just to get this moving for my quarter scale fans, viewers. I can't wait for this video to be uploaded tonight because I know they're looking forward to it. I got a lot of people wanting to possibly buy one of these. So I'm going to just jump right in. I'm going to start putting this gel coat on. I think it's good and mixed. If you want to save stuff when you're doing fiberglass work, like your brushes, we buy bulk. We buy bulk brushes. You know where from. They're cheap. That's all I'm gonna say. They're cheap. I do like to save them. I like to, you know, I like to do 2 or 3 rounds. Now I guess what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna brush this on, get it fairly thick, because we want it to cover all the little nooks, crannies. Like I say, this is probably one of the most intricate parts on this project. And the nice thing with the gel coat is it's going to bury in the corners. It's going to get in all those little nooks and crannies. And like I've said before, this is you know, you're watching this, you're kind of working along with me, because this is kind of all, it's not that it's new to me. I haven't done major fiberglass work in some time. Used to do the big gas boats, RC gas boats. I've watched lots of videos on YouTube and stuff about all this kind of stuff. I haven't really found, I can honestly say I have not found anything. I'm gonna guess there's stuff out there, but I haven't found anything that intricate. Yeah, we want a nice thick layer of this. It's been many years since I used a gel coat. The first time I ever used a gel coat, tooling gel. I actually sprayed it, and I ruined a spray gun. It was out mid-summertime type of thing, and it set up so fast that it kind of basically clogged up the gun, the spray gun. I was just using a, you know, regular paint spray gun to apply it. Didn't realize how fast it was going to go off. And there was really no point in trying to save the spray gun. No point whatsoever, because once this stuff kicks, you're pretty much done. So the idea with the gel coat is to kind of fill the nooks, the crannies, all the little spaces. So that way when we go on to putting the glass, we have the glass over there on the other table. I pre-cut a bunch of stuff. And just so you know, I want the viewers to know that this stuff does have a pretty wicked smell. It's not for everybody. Probably should have the fan running, suck some of the odor out of the garage. We're doing pretty good here. And when I say doing good, I mean I haven't got a whole lot on me. Normally when you're doing this type of stuff, it gets all over the place. I'm kind of liking this gel coat. You know, a lot of people would buy a special gun to spray this. This is actually staying. It's actually staying kind of in place. It's kind of hanging. The viscosity of it is pretty good. It's kind of hanging out. I'm just gonna keep laying it on until I use it up. Because the idea behind putting the gel coat, most people would measure it. They would measure the thickness of it. But like I say, this particular part is going, we need it to fill, because when we start putting the glass on it, if by chance if by chance the fiberglass gets any bubbles or protrusions, hopefully the gel coat saves us. That's kind of the idea. I'm pretty sure I got it on pretty thick. I don't think you got to go quite this crazy with the thickness, but I've got it mixed. I might as well use it. The only thing that I'm aware of with gel coat is the fact that the more you can get on around all your little inclusions, protrusions, it's going to kind of save you when you start laying the glass on here. I don't know if there's a downfall to putting too much gel coat on. I don't think there is. It is a polyester resin with a very thick consistency. My idea with this is to get it on thick. I want to be able to pull many molds from these molds. I don't know how many. Like I say, this journey we're on, you and me, this journey we're on will be the telltale. This could be a total fail for all I know. But we're going for it anyway. We're just waiting for this stuff to give us a sign that it's kicking. As soon as it gives me the sign that it's starting to set up, I'm going to ditch this stuff. I don't have that much left. I just kind of don't want it running over the edges and stuff. It doesn't need to be that thick where the flanges are. I'm trying to spread it on as thick as I can get it. I suppose I could just pour it over the top. It's not really what I want to do. I do know that polyester resins, the thicker they are, when they start to kick, they really start to go off. I just want to make sure that I get a very good coat kind of over everything. I would have to say gel coats over time, I suppose they could crack. They could crack, you know. I got another batch of material that I want to lay over top of this as soon as this starts to kick. I'm hoping it kicks soon because I want to get to that part of the video. I don't want it looks pretty cool black. I gotta say that's for damn sure. I can tell it's I wouldn't say it's kicking, but it's definitely thickening. So the idea with the gel coat is it curves in all the little, you know, all the little curves and areas, and basically the next material that I'm going to put on is, I'm just going to step aside for a second. I'm just going to let this sit. It's actually not as strong as I thought it might be. I thought it might be very potent. It's potent, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, it's potent. Camera girl's got her face covered. So, it's potent. I might be totally freaking stoned by the time this is done. I've smelt worse. I smelt a lot worse. Regular just polyester resin, like what's in that jug there, that 5-gallon jug. That stuff, I'm telling you, that stuff's got a kick. That stuff's got a hell of a kick. So, I've pretty much used this up. I'm just going to clean the brush. Basically, to clean the brush, here's another chemical. It's got a little bit of a kick. Acetone. We're just going to put a little bit of acetone in one of my little trays here. Acetone is good to have around, especially fiberglassing. You can preserve your brushes. I'm going to try and preserve this brush for the next blast of material. So basically what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you this can here. So this can, let me just pop it open. It's kind of cool stuff. This can is very old. I got about a half a dozen of these cans probably 20 years ago, and basically what it is it's, oh yeah, you don't want to breathe that. They're like little chunks of fiberglass. They break down. It's called milled fibers. And what it's designed for is you mix it in with your polyester resin to make the consistency a lot thicker, but at the same time you're still getting a little bit of fibrous material in there. So I figured, because the front of this truck is so intricate, before we start actually laying pieces of mat down on here, you know, we want 3-4 layers of mat. The gel coat right at the moment is kind of doing its thing. I don't see it moving away, which is nice, because in most cases that's what I see. I see the resins moving away, they run. The stuff's hanging pretty dang good. So I've got a batch right here. I've got 4 ounces of polyester resin with about 6 good scoops of the milled fiber, and the idea, as soon as this starts to kick, we're going to put a coat of polyester with the milled fibers, and basically that's going to fill in the rest of the corners, the contours, and from that point we probably won't get to it in the video, because the problem with doing these little projects, unfortunately I do not like to time lapse, and we try to keep our footage raw. You know, I want you to see it as we do it. I don't want to do it, I do it in short segments. Might have to do that tonight. We might have to give you another segment. Depends on what's going on with this gel coat. The garage, we're up to temperature. I'm just going to check the gel coat. What's left in the cup? Well, technically I can show you. I can show you what the gel coat is doing. It's thick, don't get me wrong, but there you go. Am I afraid of pouring it on here? Heck no. I would rather use up product. It is thickening. It's not quite at the gel state. You know, depending on temperature, depending on how much hardener, MEKP I put in it, determines kind of what's gonna transpire. We're gonna use it all up, because you know what? Because I don't care, and Why not? Why waste the material? You know, a lot of people would just ditch this. They just wait their time. You know, sit back, have a beer, have a cigarette, have a rye and ginger. I don't know. Smoke a joint. I like things. I like things to kind of transpire quick. You know, I'm one of those people that I don't like to watch paint dry, and I certainly don't like to watch grass grow. If I can make things happen a little quicker, that's what I do. And why? Why not? Because at Sharp Customs, I can do that. Got some acetone. I'm just going to move that loose material around. I can tell it's thickening. It's thickening, but it's not thickening quite as quick as I want it to. You can usually tell when it's starting to congeal. I just like, I like the fact that I can fill in these areas. It is gelling. Oh, we got some running, we got some sagging here. I'm just going to brush that. Oh yeah, she's starting to kick a bit. That's good. That's what we want. We want it to kick. They say that gel coat should be a certain thickness. You can watch other videos out there where they actually have a thing to check the thickness of the gel coat. And you know, big boat builders, yeah, they want it to be perfect. You know, this is just a little kind of a side project, quarter scale project. We're not looking for perfection, but what we are looking for, we're just looking for some very good results. That's all. You know, rinse this brush out. Now I could probably crank up the heat and get this to kick a little faster. But we'll just let it do its thing. We'll let it do its thing. Don't know what our timeline is at the moment. This jug right here that I put on about 4, maybe 5 coats. PVA. Which stands for polyvinyl alcohol. Yes, when you're spraying it, it does smell like alcohol. When I discovered this stuff, probably 20 years ago, I don't think I would ever do fiberglass without it. I did build, you know, large-scale gas boats, and when I first started molding, I was just doing the waxing method, and it was just a pain in the butt, you know. The fiberglass would stick to each other. It was like, I'd do 12 coats. I'd do 12 coats of wax, and my molds would still stick. When I discovered this stuff, this was a game changer right here. PVA. As far as the rest of the products, I've already showed you the MEKP, gel coat. We got the turtle wax. Not too sure if I'm going to use that again. Around this edge, when I hot glued the flange on, around the dam, let's just call it the dam. So these little triangular pieces that you saw on there, basically what they are is they are made. I bought a block. I can show you. I bought a block of plasticine, basically. They call it some weird name, but basically this stuff smells so good that you almost want to eat it. But basically, all in there, I pasted it in there with just a small tool, just to create a perfect 90-degree angle. And then these little doodads, they're just like little pyramids. And basically all they are is, once this is all fiberglassed, 2-3 coats of this material on top of there. When I pull this metal flange off, those will actually be, they'll be females. So that when I put another flange up against this fiberglass flange, I will have what they call a locate. Because this is going to be a multiple piece mold, I need locates. Now, all of these flanges, they'll all be trimmed off nice, and we put the 6 pieces of molds together. These will locate each one in its proper place. There will be drill and bolt holes to hold all 6 pieces together, but we most certainly need these locates just to line everything up perfectly, so that you gotta think of it in the perspective of being inside out. What you see here is out. When we create a finished part, it's going to be inside out. We'll be working on the inside of these molds, okay, in a hollow kind of space. 6 pieces bolted together. It's hard for some people to understand. It's hard to acknowledge that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. There are people out there, you can go watch videos of composite building where people build full-size cars in this fashion. They create all the molds, many pieces. Now they use a lot better tools than we're using here. They use, you know, they can use guns to spray the stuff on. They can use guns to basically fire this stuff, you know, in a chop mat form. It just sprays it out with the resin. They just coat it. Hot tubs are made like that. Swim spa swimming pools are made like that. It's just a special gun that they call it a chop mat gun. It fires it out. They can do it, you know, they can do it in no time. You know, we're kind of going about it in a different fashion. I'm going to check the gel coat. I don't want to bore you. That's the last thing I want to do. Like I say, this is like watching paint dry. That's the only problem with projects like this. We're starting to gel, but we got a ways to go. So I think what we're going to do for this segment, it just came to me, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a kind of a timeout. We're going to call this segment 1 of this, because I want to show you the next step that comes after this. So we'll let this gel, and I'll come back with a part 2 shortly, probably within a half an hour. You're not going to miss much. You're going to miss us drinking some beer. That's what you're going to miss. Okay? Till part 2. Peace. Later. Come back.